Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Gucci Turban Podcast, episode 2. Today, we're talking to none other than Russell Peters. I'm your co-host, Nimesh Patel, with my boy co-host, Asif Mansoor, Billy June, a.k.a. Danny Robinson, producing. Again, today we talk to Russell Peters. We talk about jiu-jitsu, hip-hop, comedy, South Asian role in police brutality, and a bunch of other stuff. Check us out. Thank you so much. All right, it's time for, of course, the opening tradition to the Gucci Turban podcast, where I make Asif mad with a dad joke. Asif, are you ready?
Sure.
This is pretty bad. It's all right. This comes from Reddit r dad jokes user shady 007. So stupid. What do you call a group of dead parrots?
Okay, before I say what, I just want to caution you that the nation is burning. Okay, the people are dying out there.
What?
Okay.
Do you call a group of dead parrots? Polygons. I'm a professional comedian, man. This shit is good. That's a good joke. Polygons. Oh, because probably want to crack.
I think I just want to apologize to anybody who's listening to this for the insightful commentary on,
polygons,
where South Asians' place
a group
is in this race war.
Dead parrots. The gone polys. Good. It's a good joke. I don't care what you say. All right. Now it's time for our Gucci Turban word of the day. And the Gucci Turban word of the day is 12, as in 50, as in police officers. 12, is a slang term for cops. But having done a bit more research, I've learned that it's also a slang. It's actually more specifically a term for narcotics officers. But I always grew up knowing that it meant cops in general. Do you ever hear that, Asif? 12?
No,
you know 50.
Well, I know 50, but we would call detectives D-boys or DTs. Mm-hmm. We would call feds the alphabet boys because they're DEA, TF. Uh-huh. But mostly it was either 50 or DTs. Mm-hmm. And then I heard the phrase Bo Brown in the Trick Daddy song. So I tried to make that popular. Yeah, Bo Brown. Uh-huh. And that didn't go over well. And so I stuck to 50 and D-boys, DTs.
I most recently heard 12 in a Migos song. I forget what the name of the song was, but the first interaction with a cop I can remember having, I was like maybe like 14 or 15, and I was in high school, and my cousin and all of his friends decided to get high, and I didn't smoke, and we got high at this one of their friends' house, this black kid in the backyard, and they were all smoking on like the porch, and I'm like playing fucking wiffle ball with myself because I'm just like watching them, and they're all smoking on the deck, and cops come from the two sides of the house into the backyard because one of the neighbors had snitched, and I'm playing wiffle ball, and all I yell out is 12, 12, 12, 50, 50. And my cousin or one of his friends eats the roach, and they make us all sit down, and I'm just like start freaking. I'm like, fuck, I'm never gonna get into
Wait, Princeton. This is in your backyard?
In the kid's backyard, in one of my cousin's friends' backyards. This black kid, and I start freaking out, and they arrest this kid, and I'm like, shit, I'm glad they didn't think I was high because I was playing fucking wiffle ball by myself. And that was my first interaction with the police officer.
My first interaction with a police officer, I used to know this. So we used to wait on it was in Queens. We used to wait on like a corner for a bus stop, for a school bus. And it was when basketball cards, we're dating ourselves here. It was when basketball cards were a thing, right? And people used to collect basketball cards. There was a Beckett.
I still got mad basketball cards.
Mad basketball cards. And we're talking Last Dance, Prime Jordan at this time, 97, 98. And so I remember I had a buddy named Carlos. I mean, like in high school, I was in middle school, and he would sell me basketball cards. And we used to trade basketball cards together. And one day we used to do every like we used to do it twice a week, and we used to do it every day. And one day he comes up to me, he's like, "Yo, man, you got the stuff," like just joking around. And a cop across the street thinks we're dealing drugs.
Oh shit!
And
okay, I got another story for you. Yeah.
And so Carlos looks at him and yells 5-0. This is my first interaction with the police officer. I'm like, I just run. We fucking run. I see a tree that's up my block that I actually knew how to climb because I was trashed. I was a terrible athlete as a child. And I just booked and went straight up in this tree. Naturally, this cop went right for Carlos's Mexican ass, like straight into him.
Right.
And I'm up on this tree, and I see Carlos is behind me. He's a little fat. He's a little slow. And he's behind me, and he runs down 57th Avenue in Queens and Elmhurst, right in front of the Queens Center Mall. And that is the last time I ever saw Carlos in my entire life. And the police, I swear to God, never saw him ever again, dude. Ever. He never came back to the bus stop. It was like February. There was a lot of time to see him in the school year. Never saw him again.
How old were you?
I was in 7th grade.
Good God, man. You got that motherfucker deported.
Listen, man, I didn't do shit. It was the cop who was,
The instinct was to just run. Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know what to do. I mean, at that point, all that shit was lost on me. Like, fuck the police. I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't recall a time having animosity towards the cops. It was just fear. Although I did always think they were dumb, because in 4th and 5th grade, my cousin Samit and I, we had remember Raven's Revenge as a candy?
Yeah.
It was a candy that came in a test tube, and it was all like colored sugar, basically. Yeah. And my cousin Samit and I, we had this enterprising idea where we would buy the Raven's Revenge with our parents' money, right? Our parents would take us like Spencer's, and like we would buy Raven's Revenge candy. We would eat it all, and then it looked an awful lot like Jello powder. So we would refill it with Jello powder, like 10 tubes, and change the label, and then bring it to school, and then try to sell it as candy, as Raven's Revenge candy at school. And kids bought it for like $1 or $2, and we made like $10. But someone got caught with it at home, and whoever's dumbass parents thought that they had purchased a vial of cocaine or drugs. Literally, it was a test tube. Like, it would have, if it was actual cocaine, it would have been like $500 worth of cocaine that they'd purchased for $1 at school. And the cops came to our school and thought me and Samit were dealing drugs at the school. And then my mom was like, "Are you guys fucking dumb? This is Jello powder. You cops are so fucking stupid." And then obviously Samit and I got fucking our asses whooped. But they were also like, the cops are fucking dumb. So at that point, my thought process of cops was like, what are these fucking clowns doing? Fast forward to the wiffle ball incident. And then maybe like a year later, my parents and we moved into like a house that had an alarm system. And my parents left the house, and they went like shopping with my sister or whatever. And I'm home alone, and my parents set the alarm to away instead of stay, right? Because stay would turn on just the outside alarms, like if someone's coming in. But if you put it on away, it would detect any inside motion. And they had never used an alarm system before, so they put it on away. I like get finished jerking off because the house is empty. I exit my room and the alarm goes off. I'm like, oh shit, wash my hands, run downstairs to try to turn the alarm off. I don't remember the code. And then they called my parents, the alarm company. I put the code in, but by that time the cops had already been dispatched. They come to my house and it's a Indian police officer. Giant Indian dude with his last name is like Dave, like Dave.
Yeah.
And he's like, and it's like the Chappelle joke. He's like, do you live here? I'm like, I'm 16. And he's like, do you have proof you live here? I'm like, what? I'm 16. I'm 16. Should I get a family photo? And I went and I got a photo of me, my sister, my mom, my dad. Like, yes, I live here. I just didn't remember the code in enough time. And I was like, they got you, man. They got you, Sergeant Dave. Of course I fucking, and it was weird because at that point I never even thought of Indian people as police officers. But here we are, like it felt like they dispatched a brown guy to deal with a brown guy, you know, which is what should happen.
I guess that's what should happen. I know a lot of people that are brown guys that are cops, and they're good people until you talk about some police shit and that blue line shit starts.
Oh,
like
yeah.
They're nice people. You could talk about sports with them, whatever. But as soon as you talk about anything police related, it turns into some weird culty thing. And then you don't even know what they do when they have a badge on.
Right.
But that's where I'm kind of like,
man.
Well, I mean, we'll get into this with Russ, but like, you know, a lot of people that I grew up with, being a cop is that's a good job, man. It's the only job you get a pension. Shit, it might be a good job for you and I. I mean, what else?
Right.
There's no pension for the fuck we do. And so, you know, you kind of buy into it. So it's not like an idealistic thing where, hey, I'm joining this police force to make change from the inside, which, you know, is understandable. It's more like, hey, this is a good job and I need to ride this gravy train into this pension. And I'm going to do that by selling everybody, my entire community out. So it's tough, man, because like I fuck with these people on some level, but I really can't, you know, and that's kind of make a lot of enemies off this podcast.
Yeah. I mean, I've only encountered an Indian or brown cop a few times. And I've always thought to myself, like, I know Rami has a similar joke where he's just like, yo, what happened, man? Like, how did this, this is not the plan for us. But I mean, I get that your logic of like, yeah, this is a good job with a solid pension makes a lot of sense for people who are in the community, of the community, and they're like, okay, and they're poor or see that as an opportunity to just like lock down a secure government job, you know? It's just weird. Like, we get into it with Russ a little bit, but it's like the Indian, South Asian community has been Asian community in general has been pretty privileged in America, and we sort of ignored our privilege in this sense. Because we got here in 1965, and all of us have like this survivor complex. At least I know like a lot of the generation above us do. Like, oh, we got here and we made something from nothing. Why can't African Americans, Latinos do the same thing? It's like, well, one, you got here in 65 when the government wanted you to come because there was a dearth of jobs that were, there was a dearth of people to fill jobs that had like high engineering degrees. And at the same time, South Asia was experiencing like a huge abundance of those jobs, of people highly trained to take those jobs, right? And so they came here in 65 and they just kept their heads low because they realized, oh shit, look what's happening to fucking black people. We don't want that shit to happen to us. Just like work and study and we'll be okay. And we just kind of ignore that we've built ourselves on the backs of the people who are still getting their fucking asses whooped for no reason. It's sad. And I don't know. I have brown guilt. I don't know what to do about it.
Well, I mean, I don't think people are that self-aware because the people who came here that were like had master's degrees and then took jobs that you barely work. They literally, these guys that had master's engineering degrees took entry-level jobs.
Yeah.
And they were being used. They were being used to show that, hey, this is a minority. This is how you should be.
Yeah.
Even though there was never any, like, they would never give people any seat at that table. They just want to take good old VJ over here and let him do a bitch's job and fuck around and become a middle manager by the end of his career, and that's it. And the guys who had hustle, sure, they made something out of stuff. Like the guy who owns the Jaguar, Shad Khan. A lot of stories of Indian dudes. Satya Nadella, Sundar Pichai. There are a lot of those, but they're very, like, they're outliers. But they're being used. They're, like, straight up being used as, like, a symbol for, the American dream works. And you're just a shot in the pan, because those motherfuckers don't do anything for the rest of us. I'm gonna be real. They don't do a goddamn thing for the rest of us.
And too many brown people sort of just buy into that myth. I was just like, the American dream is real. Everyone could do it. Why can't these people that have been here for 500 years and were brought here and oppressed do it themselves like we did it? It bothers me so much, having, like, heard it firsthand from people my age even. You know, it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? How do you not see the connection between the oppression that this country is built on and what's going on in America right now? And again, I'm just, like, trying to figure out, and this is a very new thing, like, it's one thing to, like, raise awareness, right? Like, clearly, like, I'm very aware. I think everyone of our ilk is very aware. It's another thing, like, she do something about it beyond, donating. Like, I've donated money. I went to a protest today, but it felt just, like, off. Like, I was like, I don't know what I'm contributing here. And now it's like, what the fuck can we do?
I think you got to hold.
Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I was going to say, I think you just, listen, the best any of us can do, because this is going to sound fucked up to everybody listening right now, but I don't think shit's going to change. I don't think anything's going to change.
It's fairly pessimistic. I mean, I'm of the mind, I waver between, like, every problem in America is very apparent, and the solution to every problem in America is very clear, and yet nothing gets done. But then I'll go.
What I was going to say is my theory about that is, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but my theory about that is, like, if you think about all the shit that plagues you and whoever you are, whatever race you are, and the systemic issues that plague all of us, you're trying to boil the ocean. That's not going to work. You're not going to be able to boil the ocean as one person. So the best thing you could do, the best thing we could do, is hold people around us with bad ideas accountable. Like, I have a lot of white friends who go home to Thanksgiving and they go home to Trump voters, right-wing motherfuckers, and they still go to Thanksgiving every year. Like, that's just not, you have to hold motherfuckers accountable for having bad ideas. Like, you need to take a stand in the little way that you can, because you're not going to be able to go at the entire police force. But, like, for me, for example, I know people, my wife has friends who are people who are fucking police officers. And I have to, and, like, when they go into the blue line shit, like, I have to plant my flag and be like, you know what? Fuck you. Like, I'm done with you. Like, that's it. Like, either you understand, like, speak truth to power, and you really understand, like, you have to share the values. That's something we all can do. You could share values of justice, share values of equality. That, to me, is mandatory. It's like level set shit. It's like, if I'm your friend, then we both believe in equality, justice, like, just being a fucking human being, just being humane. If we're not on that level and we disconnect anywhere, especially when it comes to you and your job being a cop, like, fuck you. And I need to do a better job of saying that shit. I need to go disrupt nice sold brunch, basically. Because that's the battlefield for white people is brunch. It's at brunch.
Right. Make a brunch uncomfortable, yeah.
Yeah, that's the table stakes for them. It's like, you know what I mean? You're not, black people are getting beat up like hotcakes and it's terrible, but, like, you have a friend in your squad that voted for Trump or has family that votes for Trump and still enables them. Like, you got to fucking.
Yeah, it's a tall order, but you're right. That's what we got to do. All right. That's a good starting point. Our guest today, none other than OG Russell Peters, biggest Indian comedian on the planet. You guys all know him. If you don't know him, check him out. Emmy Award winner, Peabody Award winner, one of the top selling comedians of all time, and just a fucking all out great dude. Russell Peters, everybody. Russell.
What up, son?
What's up, man? How are you?
Shit, fucking running around, you know?
Well, thank you for taking the time.
No problem.
This is my boy Asif. He's the co-host on this podcast.
I don't see an Asif. Hold on. Now I don't see nothing. Hold on. There we go. What are you drinking out of a mason jar?
A little gin and soda.
Sipping on gin and soda.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Fuck. You know, this shit's killing everybody, buddy. Not the disease, the whole fucking... I live in LA. Everything's on lockdown, dude. We got a 6 p.m. curfew now.
Really?
No, you're not allowed out now after 6 p.m.
Oh, shit. So you're just lounging?
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, it's not where I live exactly, obviously. But, but they are in, like, nice areas. They, like, did Beverly Hills yesterday, and they did fucking Santa Monica today.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we were just watching a video of J.R. Smith beating someone up because they smashed his Porsche's windows in. And so he's out protesting. Like, literally just happened.
Who's J.R. Smith?
Is he an LA Laker now?
No, he's a former Cleveland Cavalier. He was the guy that cost him the finals. When he...
No, I wouldn't know then.
Uh-huh.
I'm only aware of the champion team, the Toronto Raptors. Maybe you've heard of us. We are the NBA champs.
Dude, I was rooting for y'all. Did you go to those games?
Nah, I don't give a shit about it. But I was actually where was I when they won? Oh, I had just gotten back from being on tour, and I was at Nobu when they won.
Uh-huh.
And I remember I did get emotional. I did get teary-eyed.
Uh-huh. What's the guy's name? There's a Punjabi guy that reps pretty hard for
Nav.
Yeah.
Nav Bhatia.
Nav Bhatia.
That's your
He's
guy?
actually a really good friend of mine. He's the reason I don't own a car in Canada, because he owns a Hyundai dealership and he gives me any car that I want when I come to town.
You're driving around in a Hyundai?
No, anything. He has an Escalade for me. Give me a Range Rover, give me a Maserati. But you know what I always take? A Genesis.
Oh, I've heard those. Those are like $60,000 cars that are like
those are like
S-classes.
The expensive Hyundais.
Yeah.
It's like the Lexus to Toyota. It's Genesis to Hyundai.
But they don't even label it a Hyundai. It's just Genesis.
Just a Genesis. It's pretty. It's actually a really sweet car.
Yeah, it's nice. I've seen one. I've sat in one.
Lately, when I've been going home, I was driving that Hyundai Palisade there, a new SUV. It's actually really nice too. I don't give a shit. The people know I can buy a fucking car if I needed to.
Right. You're a big car guy. I'm surprised you haven't done like your own car show.
No, I'm not really a car guy. I just like certain things when they come out, and then I lose interest.
Uh-huh.
And then I try to get rid of them, and I lose money. And
used to learn.
But I don't actually know anything about cars.
What? That blows my mind, dude. I mean,
yeah, like I'm not like, oh yeah, it's got the blah blah, the double header piston, whatever the I don't know any of the terms. Like you could get me for indicator fluid. You know what I mean? I could.
That makes me so sad. The last time we hung out was like 3 or 4 years ago. We've been texting back and forth, but I saw it when it was like in LA. No, that's not true. It was in New York.
Last time you saw me, I think, was in at Chappelle's party.
Yeah, backstage at Radio City.
And I was hammered.
Were you?
Fucking hammered.
You carried it.
You came with me in my car that night, didn't you?
No. If I did, then I was hammered.
You came with me. You said, "How you getting to the after party?" I said, "Here, jump in our limo." And you came.
Okay. That sounds familiar. Yes, I might have been hammered too, Russ.
Totally.
Yeah. Well,
totally
it happens from time to time. Asif,
shit.
just by your name, I'm assuming you don't get hammered very often.
No, I do. I'm haram.
Unless it's alcohol.
Yeah. It's no, I'm just a heathen. So
yeah. Asif,
That's okay.
Asif is an expert when it comes to smoking and fine whiskeys.
Nice.
Yeah,
what's your whiskey of choice, Asif?
I like Colonel Taylor, but I like anything that comes out of Buffalo Trace because I can't afford like Pappy Van Winkle. They're like $1,000 a bottle. So
Really?
I get anything underneath that. Yeah, like from that same distillery.
If I don't get good scotch, I really, really like to drink Monkey Shoulder.
Monkey Shoulder is really good too.
It's cheap and it's really good.
I never got
hard
into
to find
whiskey.
up here.
See what?
I said I never got into whiskey. It's always clear liquor for me. I'm a Hendrix gin guy.
I used to listen. I didn't start drinking until I was 31.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
I was 31 the first time I got drunk. And
damn, why?
I used to box and shit. I wasn't even thinking about it. And I was also a bit of a control freak. I wasn't sure what emotions I was hiding.
Right.
I wasn't sure what I was repressing. I was like, I don't know. Fuck, am I going to cry? Am I going to be angry? I don't know what's going to happen. And it turns out I just laugh a fuck ton when I'm drunk. Apparently, I'm repressing happiness.
You let it out, dude.
Yeah.
You've been doing well. I mean, I watched the YouTube, the famous YouTube one. How old were you when that came out? The first one.
It was August of 2003. We shot it. I was 32, going on 33.
Okay, because
it came out in. Oh yeah, it was my third special too.
Where are the other two?
My first special was in 95.
Where are they?
Oh fuck! I've never seen the first one ever again. That was actually a really good one too, but I was really green.
Yeah.
And then the second one was in 97. That one's weak, and it's on YouTube. I'm wearing a black suit with a red shirt collar over the suit. That's how you know it was 1997. It's an orange red. It's not even like a red. It's like an orangey, like a fucking burnt orange red, you know?
You look like Mr. Pumpkins from the SNL sketch.
No, not that orangey, but it's pretty whack. But at the time, it was really fly. People were like, yo, that shit is dope. And I'm like, yeah, I got that style. I got that style. And
so
then I look back and I go,
The third one broke you.
Third one broke me because I had like 6 years to get my shit together for that one.
Yeah. I saw that Vlad interview.
Yeah.
Asif and I were just talking about, all the shit that's going on right now. As like, what is our responsibility as brown people and as Asians, like with all this shit, with police brutality in general. Like, have you gone out? Have you protested? Have you?
No, because they're not really protesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's gone from protesting to rioting and looting.
Pretty quick.
Yeah, and you could see, and the age of the people going is younger and younger. So that's how you know it's going down the drain real quick.
Mm-hmm.
They got all that young energy, all that young angst. They've been locked up for 3 months. They got, a lot of it has to do with just being fucking house crazy already.
Yeah. This is the first party back out.
Shit, fucking house crazy. Hello, house crazy.
I mean, yeah, I went out today because the protests are right down the street from my apartment. I'm in Brooklyn.
Where are you, in Manhattan?
Brooklyn, right by Barclays Center.
Oh, nice. You're in the nice part.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. So we went, it was like 2 blocks away, and I went, and this is the first protest I've ever been to, which is, I don't know if a good thing or a bad thing, but it didn't really, for me, I was like, okay, I feel more effective if I was like, these people are bombing. Like, I don't know, just the person giving the speech is just doing terribly. I was like, I'm so used to a huge crowd. I can hear like every other word. So I'm like, all right, people are clapping, but I don't know what they're saying. Let me go back to my apartment.
Listen, I don't feel like, I understand the protest mentality.
Mm-hmm.
I personally feel like you can, I don't know, it's a different situation for everybody, but I don't see how it works for me. And once it spirals like this, you really lose control, and you also lose your effectiveness.
Yeah, I think the credibility issue of a protest goes down the drain when people are breaking windows down, and that's why, like, I've had appreciation for seeing other protesters stop people from looting and breaking shit. Like, yeah, that takes away from, because then the media will just run with, oh, look at these people breaking into a Target and stealing everything. But they don't give the same attention to, the cops like using their car at battering ram.
That's literally what they do is they deflect, and it's like arguing with your chick. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's very much the same thing. Like it's like if you got caught doing something and your girl's like, so you're just gonna fucking go out and buy bitches rum and cokes all night? He's like, I never bought nobody a rum and coke.
Right.
You're gonna go fuck bitches and buy rum and coke? I didn't buy nobody a rum and coke. Like, you just get right off track there.
Change the argument.
Yeah. You take the easier side of it.
Well, does Canada have a history of what we're going through? I mean, I've seen some tweets like Canada has its own problems. I'm sure.
Yeah, Canada has its own problems. I mean, the police can be dicks anywhere you go in the world. It doesn't really matter. I mean, they are a little bit more overt in America. They're a little bit more blatant and a little bit more obvious with the things they do. So, I mean, but America has that systemic racism from centuries. I mean, they're the reason that the world is the way it is, when it comes to black people, how they're viewed. There's racism towards black people in India, and we have no fucking reason to, because they've never done anything to us.
Right. I mean, I blame the Brits for that.
It's a trained mentality. I mean, thank goodness the three of us are light-skinned enough to be okay in India.
I'm tall enough for sure.
I mean, it sucks for you, Nimesh, because you're Gujarati, and that just fucking sucks. But, I mean...
Oh, I can hear the Patel army getting on the keyboards now, dude.
Yeah. At least they're sober, because it's a dry state, fucking Ahmedabad.
We drink. That's why we drink a lot, man. That's why we own all the liquor stores here, because we couldn't drink shit over there. Yeah,
it's rebellion.
Exactly. Oh, no, Johnny Black for me. Well, I'll show you Johnny Black.
I mean,
did you... I mean, I was thinking about like, and Asif chime in here, because I'm not sure how your parents were, but I know like there's like this movement now with Indian people to like, yo, tell your parents to stop being racist. Because I know like the generation above me is definitely the most racist. I mean, a racist generation. The first generation of Indian Americans here is definitely very racist.
But here's the difference. Indian Americans and Indian Canadians are two very different people.
Okay.
Like you guys have a lot more, you're more upper middle class in America.
Yeah.
You're also the fastest rising middle class in America. And the most prosperous middle class are the Indians in America. Mm-hmm. In Canada, we got a fuck ton of blue collar Indians. And if you go to a poor neighborhood in Canada, you go to a poor neighborhood in America, it's going to be black and Hispanic. You go to any poor neighborhood in Canada, it's going to be black and Indian.
What happened?
We have a different way of looking at it. We're like, we understand a lot of things differently because we really struggled a lot more. I mean, I know I dealt with so much racism from a very, very early age because we were getting the trickle-down racism from England. And you got to understand, I was born in 1970, so I had to deal with the 70s racism, and then right up until the mid 80s, and then I started boxing and it didn't happen anymore. Sure, people would try and say slick shit, but then I would break their jaw. It was over real quick then. The minute I fought back, it stopped.
Funny how the fist will correct that.
It's interesting how that works. Good old Nook.
Did you encounter any racism when you were training boxing? Because there aren't that many South Asian people that train.
Nah, because it was all black dudes in the gym.
So there's like a solidarity.
It is. The minute you're willing to get in the ring with a guy and you're going to let him take your head off, or you're going to try and take his head off, the respect automatically jumps in. It's the same with any kind of combat sport. People will talk shit, but the minute you get in there and you realize you're both ready to kill each other, you guys both go, oh, all right. Hats off to you, kid. Even if you get beat up and you get your ass whooped, they still give you respect because you stood there and took your ass whooping.
Right, you fought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, here, like now, it's weird to like. There's definitely a huge disparity between Indian Americans in the middle class and Indian Americans in Canadians. But now this generation, my generation of Indians, is now seeing that sort of huge income inequality because, like in Queens, you go to Queens, a poor Indian neighborhood in Queens, there'll be Bengali people who are poor. The cab drivers are not crushing it, So now we're starting to see that.
I mean, again, growing up in Canada, all the cab drivers were Indian.
Right.
For some reason, driving became our thing. And I'm like, I've been to India. Nobody really knows how to drive over there. I don't know what made us such fucking good drivers when we got here.
It was the easiest.
I mean, where I grew up in Queens, like
Jackson Heights.
It was very. I grew up in Elmhurst, so it used to be a very Latino neighborhood, and Left Rec City is not so great.
Left Rec City gave us Capone and Noriega, and a bunch of others.
War Report, and that's so. When I was growing up there, we were the only brown family there, but then a lot of Guyanese and Trinidad, like Trini people started moving in. And
then Ozone Park, they took over that whole Ozone Park area.
Yep, and then up north. But then it's interesting to me when I talk to other Indian people, they're like, I've never met a Guyanese person before. I don't even know what that is.
Wow.
And it's really like, you can see the divide between our classes here. It's like, if you don't, and this is like a kind of a broader conversation, because a lot of the people I know that I grew up with that were South Asian or Caribbean became cops.
That's wild.
And so because those are the best jobs that are available to you, it's the only job you get a pension. So it's like you feel that divide.
Yeah, in Canada, it's all about working at the airport, which it is like that in New York too, because you go to the airport, it's full of fucking West Indians, JFK, even LaGuardia. Like when I'm walking through, it's like I feel like I'm in Toronto when I hear it. All right, put your shoes in the basket and just hats off and everything. And I'm like, oh boy, I feel like my friends' dads tell me what to do again.
Dude, nothing makes me happier than seeing Indian people that are working at the airport. For some reason, it gives me some kind of weird comfort. At one point, some of it's like, okay, like I wish you. I know that you're saving all this money so that your kids can become doctors and engineers and kind of. But I also appreciate that, like, they're 80 years old just hustling away at the airport, like in fucking terminal with the Tom Hanks.
We're not retirement people. It's like my dad worked. My dad died when he was 78. He worked right up until he was about 74.
Yeah.
He experienced 4 years, not even 4 years of like not working.
I've been telling my dad, like, yo, you gotta stop. What do you do? What is the point? It's like, I can't not. Well, my dad's 60 and he's like, dude, just.
Your dad's only 60?
Yeah.
Your dad's 10 years older than me?
Sorry to frame it that way. Yeah.
That's kind of fucked up, dude.
He's 58.
I'm pretty sure your dad and I are very different too. That's weird.
Yeah, no, he's an OG, man. You got here. So he, like, going back to the sympathy and empathy between brown people and black people and like what's going on right now. It's like my dad landed in America when he was 17 and he landed in Newark, right? And so he worked in Newark from 17 on. So the sort of animus
1977 he came to America.
1980 or something. Yeah, and maybe 79, I think. He
was 19.
Yeah, it might have been yeah.
I can do the math real easy because I just have to subtract 10 years from it.
So he was born in 62, so that's 58.
Oh, your dad's only 8 years older than me, dude.
Yeah. Sorry, Russ.
Your dad is 2 years older than my brother.
Jesus, he could be your brother, man. You should meet. He's definitely your video was the YouTube one was the first stand-up video that we watched together. Me, my dad, and my mom, they all fucking died. And then they've come to your show. Remember I asked you like 2 years ago when you were doing a show in Newark. I was like, yo, can I get tickets for my family? They came out.
Yeah, remember I told you go fuck yourself, go buy them? No, I'm just kidding.
You sent them anyway. Thank you.
I said, fuck you, Chodu. Take your own tickets.
But so like that animus that exists now between the animus that exists with some of the other South Asian parents and African Americans doesn't exist with my parents because they were in that. All their friends were black, or the people that came to the store were black. So they were always my mom will say terrible things about the Chinese and Muslim people, but when it comes to like black people, she's just like, I don't know.
Asif.
I'm used to it.
Yeah. But I mean, she's also from Gujarat and
like downtown Gujarat.
The daughter of a Brahmin priest, so her animosity is like brainwashed into her. But like, Sorry, go ahead.
My growing up, the only people that were not racist to me were the black people. So from about the age of 4, I just hung around black people.
Right.
Male, female, old, young, doesn't matter. I just only hung around black people because I never got any flack from them. I never got my ass whooped from them. They always had my back.
Right.
And I remember growing up, because just from such a young age, and even into my teens and in my 20s and even to now. But I remember I must have been in my late teens. My dad said, "Son, have you thought about making any friends that are not black?"
Expand your horizons.
Like, for what? What's the point?
Right. Listen to
like, they got everything. They could dance. They could sing. They got all the music I like.
Yeah, I mean, I so like, as someone who's so gravitated towards black culture, it feels unfair that I'm not doing anything for what's happening right now. I mean, beyond like donating money.
There's things we can do that they can't do. And there's things they can do that we can't do. And outside protesting, yeah, it's okay, it's good, but it's kind of lost its meaning because it's lost its direction. So now we got to do other things that that unite our people and link them, as opposed to our people that are more likely to be like, "Well, I told you that these people are savages," and you're like, "No, you fucking idiot! Stop buying into it." You know, we got to stop those people from buying into it. And then you got now we live in a very weird time too, where they think that these fucking little whatevers and all these little shit rappers that you fucking generation has, it's just pure trash to me. But they like you got this, it's opened it up so wide that you got like little Indian girls trying to rap along to these fucking guys who are just saying nothing, like and I'm like, oh, fuck off with this shit. There's no lyrical content. They're not saying nothing. Like, here's the sad part of it all. If after all this shit is done, none of these dumb young fucks are going to make any music that's going to give you a snapshot of what was happening right now.
Right.
Whereas you can go listen to Ice Cube from 91 before the riots happened, saying that the riots were going to happen. Like, it's really dope what he did. But these kids, they don't give a shit. They just want the sneakers. Broke into a store, got my sneakers. I can't even make them sound. I can't even get myself dumb enough to sound like them.
We were talking about Ice-T's band Body Count, that song Cop Killer.
Yeah.
And it's not on Spotify. That entire album from Body Count is on Spotify except Cop Killer.
It's hilarious because it's not even like a bad song. First of all, it's not even a good song, but it's not a bad song either. You know what I mean? It's not like the song was made and everyone's like, "Yo, Cop Killer." Everyone's like, "Yeah, the title, it's fine," but we're like, nah.
Oh, it didn't resonate at a musical level.
It wasn't so like, we heard the song, we're like, nah, I'm good.
It's got to be a lot harder if it's going to own up to that name and make it something that you blare when the cops pull you over.
Yeah, well, it was weird. It was a punk song.
Yeah, it was a metal song, and it was like not a good one either. I was like, eh.
When did it come out?
94 maybe. You doing the research there, Asif?
Asif knows.
I think it's 92.
I'm glad you 92? And Asif could connect. Asif knows music more than most anybody I know. So the two of you connecting is interesting to me. Asif, you know Russ produced that show Hip Hop Evolution on Netflix. I didn't know you won an Emmy for it. Congrats.
And a Peabody.
That's fucking crazy.
Damn.
You never flex with that. I see you flexing with like the watch, right? But you never flex with a fucking Peabody award.
I don't know. I like to know I have it, but I'm always, I don't know. Maybe I'm too Canadian for that shit.
Humility is stupid.
And it's whack.
Humility is a dumb thing to maintain.
Fucking humility. Bullshit.
You know, it's one thing to be humble with your money, but with a fucking Peabody, you want an internationally recognized award for.
I did post it like when I won it.
Uh-huh.
And that was like, I think 4 years ago or 5 years ago or something.
I guess I didn't see. I don't think I got on Instagram until recently. Like, this is not like, I'm just starting to realize whatever I should have learned from your YouTube success 10 years ago, that this whole fucking social media game is where it's at. Like,
Yeah, although I didn't have anything to do with it, so my social media game is whack. Like, I'm horrible at it. I just hit 400,000 followers on Instagram. I've been on the fucking thing 10 years.
Right. But so you made no money off your YouTube shit?
The original one, no, but now my YouTube channel, I guess maybe a little bit.
Nothing that moves the needle, but apparently back then.
No, nothing that's gonna be like, all right, guys. Not like I'm gonna I'm not gonna be throwing on Barry Manilow thinking, looks like we made it.
That was a long time ago.
Barry Manilow or the?
That looks like you made it.
Yeah, it was the 70s. It was the 70s.
Do you have a golden era of hip hop that you go back to?
For me, I mean, there is the golden era, but then there's the era that resonates from a beginning to an end for me. And I mean, it would have to be like 87 to like 97. I give it a 10-year span.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like the Bohemian phase, like the De La Soul and the Tribe Called Quest, or was it more the gangster rap?
No, I was into. I'm all East Coast, so you know, like Cool G Rap, I loved because he was talking some shit, and I loved Schoolie D because he was also talking some shit, and that's as far as shit talking as I wanted to get with it, you know. And then Biggie really knew how to tell a story and paint a picture, and then you know, Kane had that flow that he just would twist the words so easily, and you'd be like, God damn. And the really ill shit for me is like I'm friends with about 95% of the people I grew up with posters on the wall of.
I remember when we went to AC, it was you, when we went down to AC, you were doing shows at Borgata or whatever it was, and Magic Millennial came out with you.
Oh yeah, Melly Mel was with me. Probably Grandmaster Kaz as well.
Yeah, I have pictures of it, but I don't remember. I just remember the after party.
When your parents came to see me
at
the NJ Pack 2 years, like a year ago, 2 years ago, year and a half
ago? It had
ago?
to be like 2 years ago.
Yeah. That night, I have the picture on my Instagram too, but it's like, it was OC, Lord Finesse, DJ Premier, Pharoah Monch, Big, Grandmaster Kaz, Melly Mel. I think Kool Herc might have been there. It was a pretty wild night. Like, we were all hanging out backstage.
Do they open for you, or do you bring them out to the party?
No, they were just hanging
hang
out.
out?
Yeah. Kenny Dope was there. I mean, it was really ill.
That's fucking dope. I hope at some point I can get to like hang with Kendrick and be like, hey man, you're not a Kendrick fan?
No.
Oh shit!
I don't get him at
I feel like me and Rex are gonna get along so well.
you know what I did like about Kendrick? His fucking role in Power. I really like the character he played in Power. When he played like a Dominican guy.
He played a Dominican in Power?
Yeah.
I never
he played
saw
like a Dominican
Power.
crackhead kind of guy.
Is it worth watching Power?
Oh, I loved it, dude. I love Power. I've actually watched the seasons twice.
Are you working on any TV right now?
I don't know what the fuck I'm working on, dude. I really don't have any clue. I really have no clue.
You did that South African detective series, or you shot it in South Africa.
The Indian detective, the South African detective.
Yeah.
The Indian detective. Yeah, we shot it in South Africa.
Right.
It was supposed to be India. And then I told them, I said, listen, you can't fake India. So I made them get a budget together, and we went to Bombay and shot for like a week.
Uh-huh.
Because you can't fake the Indian exterior. There's too much.
No.
It's too much texture. There's too much sound and colors, and just you can't fake it.
Everyone is an extra.
Everyone's an extra.
How'd that do?
It did well. Like, it was the highest rated show in Canada for every week that it was on. It was like it ranked higher than what's that show where you travel around the world and
Oh, it's like Kim's Convenience.
I
enjoy that show.
The show looks taped like it's filmed like it's a commercial, like a commercial for medicine.
It's filmed like a Canadian television show from the 70s.
Oh, that it most certainly is. It definitely.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a wholesome sitcom about a career. No. Why haven't you EP'd anything?
I executive produced Hip Hop Evolution. I got another documentary. Asif, you might like this. I got a documentary that's almost finished on D&D Studios.
Really?
It's really fucking dope.
Is that going to be on Netflix?
We don't know where it's going to go yet, but it's really like we've been shooting it for years. Like we got DJ Premier going into D&D Studios and clearing out the studio because it's before they tore the building down. So we got Premier finding like DAT tapes of Biggie and Nas that he thought he lost, like the actual sessions and stuff, songs that he forgot about. It's really dope.
What did you think of that? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but what did you think of that? I think it was Primo versus Swiss Beats.
No, it was Primo versus RZA.
Oh, Primo versus RZA, right. What did you think of that?
Primo took it easy on RZA.
That's fair, because a lot of people had said that RZA had the anthems, and so.
Nah, son, no way.
In my opinion, Primo is the best.
RZA has great songs, but Primo has them fucking songs, like, and Primo held back, and Primo was doing all his cuts live while he was doing it. That was like extra. And I even talked to Primo right after. He was like, I said, you went easy on him. He goes, man, I was just trying to make it fun. I said, you went easy on him. He goes, I held back a little. I go, because he didn't think RZA was going to start the way he started. So he was like, oh, you want to go that way? Okay, we'll do that. You know.
I got to watch the show Versus. Everyone's fucking talking about it.
Oh, they're fun, dude.
I got to.
The Beanie Man Bounty Killer one last weekend was amazing.
I heard.
No, I didn't see that one. I heard about it, yeah.
Do you know Cypher?
Yeah. Luis?
Okay. Yeah.
Luis Diaz?
Good old Louis Diaz.
I don't know if we're allowed to say his government name on.
We just did.
He might be packing his go bag right now.
That's right.
Russell Peter just outed his. Yeah, our connect. He fucking loves that show. But I'm not a casual hip hop fan, but I'm also not an expert level like the two of you guys.
No, they're just fun, dude. When you hear it, you're like, oh, that shit was fun. Even if you think you don't know the songs, once you start watching, you go, I didn't realize they did that song. Like, the one that bugged me out was I didn't know that RZA did Long Kiss Goodnight for Biggie, and that's one of my favorite Biggie songs. My son just walked in, and we shaved his head yesterday.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Let me hold him up
What's his name?
Russell Santiago.
Oh, man.
Russ Jr.
What's up, Junior?
Hey.
Look there. Look at you there.
Hey, buddy. Indian people don't name their kids after themselves a lot.
Well, he's also half Hispanic, so.
There it is.
Yeah, but unless you're Aga Khan, right? That guy's. Hey,
well, is he even a real thing? I mean,
yeah.
You want to upset an entire Smiley community? You can talk about
it. Sorry, everybody.
Are you a Smiley, Asif?
No, I'm Bengali, but I'm like, I guess.
Are you really?
Whatever.
One of them, huh?
Yeah.
One of those nuts for nuts guys?
One of the selling fruits on the side, driving your Ubers, being your
My mom can read and write Bengali and speak it.
Really?
Yeah, she's from Calcutta.
Oh, shit. So you're Bengali.
Did you see my son look at me and go, she's from Calcutta? He went. He's like, ew, I didn't know that. I'm half Mexican and I don't want to know that.
We're from Los Angeles, Dad. What's up, man?
Writing, babe, with his
yeah, we got put on that onesie with the tattoos. Okay. The sleeve, because it'll match him right now. Okay, let me get him out of here. I'm doing a live.
Okay.
How old is he?
He's 14 months old almost. He'll be 14 months old in like 12 days.
And how's your daughter?
Jumpy! She's good. She's upstairs. She's 9.5.
9.5. Oh, shit. How's she taken to little Russ?
Oh, she loves her brother.
Uh-huh.
Her brother loves her too. Like, he gets all excited when he sees her. But he bites everybody, so he doesn't understand that you're not supposed to bite people.
Uh-huh.
So he runs up to her, gives her a hug, and then bites her on the wrist, Why did you get my personal stash?
I know that. I'm telling you that.
I guess I'm sorry.
Have we all lost our minds? Even look at, he's laughing.
You got a whole COVID crew hanging out. Hi.
That's Nimesh and Asif.
Hello.
It's Jen.
Hi,
Hey.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
And
Nice to meet you.
that's his head and those are her breasts. They look like his head. Now that they're fully bald, they look like.
What was the reason to shave the head? It was just like,
I don't know. It's just, I think they wanted to do it for a long time. You know that Indian thing too, where you shave the head, it's supposed to make the hair grow back thicker.
yeah.
I don't think anybody did that for me.
It doesn't work now, Russ.
Hey, you know what, guys? Fuck my life.
How's
hey, we gotta start one for this because it's alive. Brown Lives Matter.
We'll get canceled immediately if you put a Brown Lives Matter thing up.
And we're like, no, we meant our live speeds, not. Oh, you misunderstood.
Not our IGs. How's COVID been treating you? You've been just been locked up?
Pretty good. It is what it is, kid.
Hey,
I want to try something, Nimesh. Can I tell you? I want to give you a compliment because
Please.
I've seen you. I've known you what about now 8 years?
Yeah, right around then. I think we met.
When did you start? 8 years ago, right?
No, I started in 2009, so like almost 11 years ago now.
So you started in 2009, I think. So I must have met you around 2011, 2000. I met you around 2011, I feel like.
Yeah, we met at
when I did Caroline's that weekend in November of 2011.
It's possible. I thought it was Levity Live because I knew Trayvon by that point, and I texted. I think I texted Trayvon, "Yo, could you introduce me to Russ?" And
okay, well, whatever it was, I've watched you grow as a comic, and I've watched your confidence change, and not in a bad way, like in a good way. Like it's a growth. It's not like I'm so good. It's like you. Like I seen kids get cocky doing it, like, and you're like, oh, fuck off, kid. Right. But like I watched you grow, and like your joke writing is so much better, and you sort of figured out who you are. It's kind of cool. It's really cool for me to watch because it's like, look at this kid. He's really fucking working it.
Oh, thank you, man. That means a lot. I appreciate that. It was this year, when I hit the 10-year mark, the hour that I put out that you saw.
Yeah, it was great.
Thank you. I put out, I recorded it a day after my 10-year comedy anniversary.
Nice.
And that was like my dad's birthday. I was like, I got to put it out I got to record it the day after, because the 10 years when everyone says this is when you get good at comedy. This is when
it actually is true.
And I this past like just 6 months before this shit happened, I felt like, oh shit, this is like, I felt so comfortable on stage. I was really finding a groove of what I was capable of doing, and to hear you notice that, it's dope. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I remember when I had my first special in '95. I was doing stand-up 6 years at the time,
mm-hmm.
and when it was only a 30-minute special, and when it aired in Canada, it got like a bunch of attention because they'd never seen anything like that before. And so they started getting like all these fan mail, like actual mail back then, and like girls sending pictures of themselves and stuff.
Oh, shit.
I was 25, dude. I was actually 24 when I shot it, going on 25. And I remember I was so proud of it when it came out. Like, and I went to go stay with Patrice O'Neill and Keith Robinson in New Jersey in the fall of '96.
Oh shit.
And I took the VHS of that show with me. And I brought it. I was so proud of it, and I brought it to show them. And I go, "You guys want to see it?" And they're like, "Yeah, put it on." So
oh no! Oh no!
I put it on, and it finishes right, and it's really quiet in the room. And I go, "So?" And they go, "Yo, you fucking kidding? That was a piece of shit." Like, huh? What? Patrice, like, yo, that was trash, dog. That was fucking awful. They go, you really put that out? I thought they were being sarcastic. They were really shitting on it.
Oh, no.
But that helped me so much because they made me realize, they were like, so what makes any of those fucking jokes anybody else could have done the exact same jokes. There's nothing special about it. There was nothing that, and they broke it all down. I was like, wow. I was like feeling really good. And it got nominated for Canadian Emmy, a Juno, Gemini Award. And I was like, man, I just got nominated for an award. He goes, yeah, in Canada, they got nothing going on. I'm like,
they like Canadian Juno. The Gemini is like a Webby Award here, dude.
Yeah, probably less.
God, what was it? What was the first one called?
It was so this CBC, this station in Canada, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, they had a series. They get a budget from the government, and they did a series called Comics, and it was like they would do, I think, 10 comics every year, and it started in like '93, and I got it in '95 or '92. It started. I got it in '95.
Oh, so there was.
And
no
I
name.
remember.
Like
I remember this one reviewer at the end of the year gave me like a fucked up review about it.
Who did?
Some reviewer. He was like, and the CBC little show that could comics continued on with some real highs, Mark Farrell, and some real lows, Russell Peters. And I'm like,
oh shit,
you motherfucker.
God damn.
Yeah.
So what were there any other Indians doing it in Canada at the time? Or?
Like Sean Majumder had started a few years, like maybe 3-4 years after me.
Uh-huh.
And then there was like some guys just, dabbling in it. And I'm like, you listen, you don't dabble in this. You either fucking do it or you don't do it. People are like, oh, I'm going to university. Go, then go to university, motherfucker. We don't need you. We don't need you fucking studious ass in this business right now. It's a war out here. I don't need your theory. I need you to fucking do it.
What were you doing that you were like
material-wise?
Well, no. So like, I know a lot of your backstory. Like even before we got to know each other, I was like, Russell is the guy I got to like research and fit. Like he's the first Indian to ever do it. But like, I don't think I know what your comedy, I gotta do comedy moment was.
Oh, I was 19. I was 18 actually. And I was always a fan of comedy, and I was always the funny guy in the group.
Right.
And then one night, it was like the summer of '89, and we couldn't get into this nightclub one night. So we stood in the parking lot, and I stood on my friend's bumper, and I started making fun of my friends. Like I was on a stage. I was standing on his bumper doing it. And they were like, oh, man, you got to do comedy. And then I was like, yeah, whatever. And then my cousin Andrew was like, yo, you really need to do stand-up. I go, really? He goes, you're really funny. And I'm like, that's the first time anybody in my family had ever complimented me on anything. Even when I was a B-boy, they were like, it's fucking stupid, you know?
What are you doing, dancing around?
Yeah, when I was DJing, they're like, stop scratching those records. I'm like, that's fucking DJing, asshole. Let it play, you know?
And then you were like, and then you went to your first open mic, and it was
no, my dad was getting on my ass because I was about to be 19. And he was like, listen, you need to start doing something. You're not going to be freeloading your way through this world. And I'm like, I know, I'm not planning on that. I don't know what I'm going to do. And then I told my brother, I said, Andrew told us that Andrew told me I should do stand-up. And he goes, you want to try it? I'll take you out. So my brother took me to go watch some open mics. I'd never seen an amateur night before or an open mic ever.
Right.
I'd only seen George Carlin in concert. I'd seen Eddie Murphy in concert. So I'd only seen the best in their settings. So, but I'd never seen the process from the beginning. So when I saw that, and I was like, oh, fuck, I could be better than these guys. And that's what I realized at that very moment. I go, all I got to do is be funnier than that guy, and I move forward.
And how long did it take you before 6 years? Was it, obviously there was like a mini special or like a 5 minute. Was it late night in Canada, or was it just like 0 to 30 minutes?
No, you just do the road. You would do the road. Shittiest gigs you could ever imagine for the worst money imaginable.
Did you
you know how in New York you could drop in and pick up $75?
For sure.
Right, but at least you're in the city. You don't have to go anywhere for it.
Right.
Well, in Canada, you would have to drive 4 hours to get $60.
You'd lose
and
all
I would
that
do
on the
it
gas.
because it was like early 90s. And I was like, well, that'll cover my gas, I guess. And they're like, we'll give you free soda. And I'm like, ooh, free soda? This is great.
But you did it and you fucking loved that shit.
I did it and I loved it because I was like, well, I could say no to it, but I'm still going to sit around here and talk for free. I might as well go talk for $60.
Right.
You know?
Do you remember?
None of it was about money for me. It was always about like, I just want to keep doing it. I don't give a shit where it is. I'll do it. They were like, we got this gig. I'll do it. I did like reggae parties in like the mid to late 90s, like 97. A lot of them, like where they would be like a full-on reggae party going on with just Jamaicans in the room.
Oh shit!
In a banquet hall, and then they would stop the music and then hand me a mic, and I would stand in the middle of the dance floor and do stand-up.
Was your early stand-up like you roasting people? Was your
it was a lot of that, but because I grew up around the Jamaicans, my brain thought like them. So when I would come out, they'd be like, "Who?" I remember one night this guy walk on, they stopped the music, and you hear everybody. You hear the loudest sucking of teeth you ever heard, and I was like, "Uh-oh." And then you're, "Hey, what the music?" And then I'm like, "Oh, great." And then they introduce it like this: "We have this youth here who thinks it's funny. Come, Russell." And I'm like, "Oh boy." And I get to the middle of the dance floor. And then I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And then I heard some girl go, "Who is you?" And then I immediately just clicked. I was like, and I just went into Patwa right away, and it shut the whole place down. They were like, "Who the fuck is this guy that speaks like us?" And I was like, "All right, I got this. I got this figured out now." That's what fucked me up, because I would kill in the black rooms in Canada and the black rooms in England because it's the same demographic. Then I would come to New York and I would go do like Capone's room at the Bronx BBQ in Fordham Road in the Bronx at like 1:30 in the morning. I'd get booed the fuck off stage. Then I would go do like whatever other black rooms and I would just get silence until I would do like Nagasaki's in Long Island, and then I would kill because it's West Indians in Long Island. You know what I mean?
You're right. But like here in, I mean, I started in 2009, and I didn't do my first black room until probably 2011. And it was such like right when you started is when all the comics would tell you, you gotta do black rooms. You gotta do black rooms, because that's
you get
where
kicked in the nuts immediately.
You get fucking told you weren't shit. And I did the first black room I ever did, I fucking destroyed, because
really?
I went up right after some guy who had bombed, and he was super effeminate. And so I went up and it was like 11 p.m. and I was interning, so I had like a suit on, and I went up and I just shat on the guy before me, and I fucking destroyed. Oh, someone's rolling up in their Bentley. What is that?
My son rolled up in his G-Wagon.
Is that a G-Wagon Power Wheels?
It is a G-Wagon.
It's a G-Wagon, and it can be controlled by remote controls.
Oh my God.
Life is different when you're Russell Jr.
Look, he's trying to get out of there. Look, he's got tattoo sleeves on.
What's up, dude? Nice.
It's got a radio in it, and it's got a horn. It even has fucking headlights.
That's nicer than.
When are you gonna?
Music on that'll help the whole recording that we're doing here.
Are you one of those? Are you gonna put him into boxing classes or jiu-jitsu early?
Yeah, he's definitely gonna get into jiu-jitsu. His godfather is this guy right here.
Oh, it's Jean-Jacques Machado?
Yeah.
Oh my God! I actually trained jiu-jitsu competed at the world level for a little while.
I was supposed to do the World Masters in August.
That's you're still training. You still compete?
Yeah, I still train every day. Where did you train, at Henzo's?
I train at Unity Jiu-Jitsu, so now I train at Marcelo Garcia's.
Oh, no, wow, Marcelo's dope, dude.
Yeah, before this shutdown happened.
What belt are you?
I'm a purple belt.
Oh, nice. I will be soon. I'm a 3-stripe blue.
Yeah, once you take a few more beatings at blue belt, and then you start issuing the beatings, but then
No, that's the thing. That's how I know I've crossed over, because I've been training every day with these 2 black belts from my gym, and they're like 5-stripe black belts. They're Jay Zabelos and Mark Armstrong, and they both have 2 different styles. Jay's real slow and flowy, and Mark is aggressive and strong, and he really tries to fucking hurt you. And I used to just be real defensive. I used to just defend, and you wouldn't be able to get me, but I wasn't going to get you either. You know what I mean? I would just be able to stop you. I'd be like, nah, no, not gonna now. You're not gonna get that. I'm rolling out of your arm bars. You're not gonna get me. And then it just changed maybe about 3 weeks ago, where I just figured out how to become aggressive from the guard. So it's really cool because now you get in my guard and I can still choke you from the guard. Because Hegan comes in every now and then and rolls with me and shows me all these little sneak tricks, and Hegan's a fucking beast.
Yeah, man. I mean, I wish I just got my ass beat the entire time, but I wish.
Oh, it's great. I still get. I did. I trained on. I haven't trained in 3 days because the last time I trained, I did 14 rounds.
Are they letting you still train with the quarantine? Because all the gyms in New York are shut. Henzo's shut down.
I have
Marcelo's shut
mats
down.
at my house.
See, here's what I got to become a millionaire. That's what needs to happen.
First, you got to get the G-Wagon for your son, and then you got to get a bunch of mats at your house.
Yeah,
I gave up my entire body to jiu-jitsu. Both my ACLs are gone. My rotator cuff is torn.
Were you doing fucking rubber guard dumb shit?
No, I started a McDojo, and some people call them Gringo Jiu-Jitsu. Mm-hmm. And I decided that I wanted to compete because I was like, listen, I'm like, there's no South Asian dudes competing right now. I want to at least leave some kind of legacy. I want to compete, and I want to compete at the world level. So I changed to a Brazilian gym, which is, as you know, much different, totally different vibe. They treat it like a fight, and there's a lot of respect, a lot more respect in jiu-jitsu.
I think you mean respect.
Yeah, respect. And
but Marcelo's a beast, dude.
I mean, he's an animal. He's just he's the Michael Jordan of jiu-jitsu. He's just a whole other.
Well, let's not get crazy, but he is very good.
I think he's the Michael Jordan.
See, I look at Jean Jack like that. I'm like, that guy's a beast. I brought people in who I thought were like really good, and I'm like, I go, JJ, will you roll? And he goes, yeah, no problem. And he just fucking toys with it. And I'm like, he's got one hand.
Yeah.
He's got this
it's like,
and this, and he gets you with this.
When did you get into training, Russ?
I started jiu-jitsu in 97.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
And I did it, it was Japanese jiu-jitsu because it's all the exact same shit standing up. You can guillotine standing up, you kimura standing up, you armbar standing up. It's all the same shit, but you're standing up. You use the walls for whatever, right? Anyway, I heard a guy in 2000, and then I stopped. And then I went back in 2016.
What was the impetus behind it? Like, you were like, I just want, like, the boxing bug was no longer in you, that you wanted to.
No, I just finished training boxing I went back to boxing, but then my hands are really starting to hurt. Like, your body can't take that shit anymore, especially if you're like, nah. I'm like, my arm, like my wrists were hurting, all my bones were hurting. Mm-hmm. I was like, yo, this is too much. And I went back to jiu-jitsu. And so the thing in jiu-jitsu is if you get tired, I could just post up and hang on until you move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can get top position. I can get side control and just rest for a minute because my game is pressure. I'll just put all my weight on you.
I never.
That's the thing that bugged me out. I had to learn how to play guard and an open guard, like spider guard, and I should be able to play those kind of guards because of my size, but
how big are you?
I'm 5'8", but I walk around at when I used to compete, I used to walk around at $150.
Oh yeah.
So, but I play like a big guy, and that's not good.
Let me tell you my favorite Asif story.
Yeah, you got to go speed.
Well, Asif is at his peak training, 3 years ago. he had just reached purple belt or something, and we're out at some bar. And this 6'2", and Asif is from Queens. He's wearing a Mets hat, and it's late, and we're drunk, and we're at some bar, and some 6'2" white guy knocks Asif's hat off, and Asif is drunk and also purple belt in jiu-jitsu. So the jiu-jitsu thing of being calm and never fighting anybody
right out.
Is out the fucking window. And Asif just turns around, and I have to step in front of this giant white dude and 5'8" Asif and look at this white guy in the face like, hey man, look, relax, because this guy will destroy you right now. He's gonna fucking murder you.
I was drunk. It was bad. Because usually I've been in situations before with guys when you're out with jiu-jitsu guys, especially if you get your blue belt, you feel a little tough. And cops show up pretty quickly and you have to like de-escalate. It's all a game of de-escalation. But I was hammered and I had a hat on like you, and I'm just standing in the bar talking to him, and this guy comes over and just whips the hat off my head.
I see boxing would have kicked in right there. Would have been like, mother pop.
Yeah.
No,
I'm 5'11" and 212 pounds. It's different.
Yeah, I mean, you're more imposing. Like I just like I don't know what came over me, dude. I was pretty sure I was gonna like shoot a double, like right then, which is the dumbest thing you could possibly do.
No, you don't need to. Just grab the back of his neck, pull him down, guillotine him, get out of there.
It was the greatest thing to witness, to tell somebody, like, look, man, my friend will murder you, and he will do it.
So you didn't have to do anything to him, though?
No.
He looked at my eyes. He looked deep in my eyes, and he was like, "All right, I'm just gonna leave. I'm sorry." And he walked out. He literally walked out.
That's the thing.
I don't know what I was hammered.
Everyone in New York knows how to fight. I feel like the only reason I would learn how to fight is because I feel like everyone in New York is secretly training like MMA or some shit. Like everyone listens to Rogan. It's like everyone, I've
rolled with Rogan.
Right.
Not fun.
And?
Not fun.
Yeah, he's a Machado black belt too, right? He's Eddie Bravo and Machado, I guess, Nogi.
Yeah, well, Eddie learned how to do jiu-jitsu from Jean-Jacques. So yeah, he's the creator of Eddie.
I'm sorry, I'm not contributing to this.
Nimesh, I was expecting far more out of you.
I don't know. Asif is boys with my friend Seaton and a few other fighters that are also comics who are fighters. And so whenever we're out and Asif is around, he can just talk to these guys about fighting and gets his fighting kicks. But I don't know anything about fighting. So for me, I'm just like, oh, this is interesting. But it's like, what am I going to contribute? Like I punched a person once, maybe in my whole life.
And that was your mom. And that's because your dad told you to. He's a real Indian dad. Hit her.
Oh man. What else you got going on, Russ? Nothing?
I got nothing going on, buddy.
I have my
buddy Brian here. We're going to go over some business.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
You going on tour again? Once this is all done?
Yeah, if we're ever allowed to. I've lost so much fucking money this year already.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, you're doing like fucking giant arena. Are you still just clubs, or you're doing arenas?
The club money was going to be good, but I had like a lot of casino dates lined up that pay great money.
Right.
I had the Wynn.
International dates also?
The international dates were supposed to start in March of next year.
Are you working on a special?
No, I'm going back on tour with new act, and I guess a special may happen. Personally, I'm fucking sick of specials. I don't give a shit about them anymore. And I think what you did is the right route to go anyway. Just stick it on YouTube and you own it forever. You get some sponsorship money and everybody wins.
Thank you. I mean, mine was more just like, well, I had sent it to HBO and they were like, well, you're not famous yet, so we can't take the risk.
I hate that shit.
We can't take the risk on making you famous. So I was like, well, fuck it. I'll just put it out and see what happens,
Then did you ever make like a promo clip for it or anything?
No, I never did. I just put the hour that I did. I was like, here, just.
And you make like a little, like 60-second promo clip and I'll put it on my page.
Oh, that'd be dope. Thank you. Yeah, I'll send that shit to you by the end of the week and we'll see what happens, Like for me, it's like, and this is hubris, but I'm talking to you. It's like I've always felt like a very different Indian comedian. You know what I mean? Like it's always been. It's like each one of us feels like we have a lane, and I've always felt like the lane that I've filled has not been filled yet. I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's your lane. Well, if you're doing what your life, then it's your it's your truth. It's funny to me because I get like young Indian kids now fucking messaging me about, hey, dude, maybe your generation talk like that. We won't talk like that anymore. I go, so my dad's fucking accent's supposed to change? Because fuck you, kid. First of all, come to my face and say I'll slap the dog shit out of you. I'll do what your parents didn't do and I'll slap the fuck out of you.
Wait, they try to give you the high road TPU? Is that what it is?
Post on her, some Indian girl, I don't know where she's from. She posted on her page, never sold out my people to make white people laugh, never will. and then somebody tagged me and Lily singing it, and I'm like, fuck you, asshole.
Yeah,
I go, you know why you didn't have to,
weird.
you fucking cunt? Because I did it first, so none of you pricks would have to. You guys can go do what you want to do. I had to do what needed to be done first.
Yeah, but your audience, you make Indian people laugh, so that's why it doesn't make sense to me. It's not like you're tap dancing out there like.
Well, I know that's the thing. They try to make
people
like
fuck with your stuff,
and I'm like, nah. Or I get when some Indians, you know, you're not white. I'm like, when the fuck? You don't know me. You really don't know me.
Only the name is. Everything else about you is. Did you ever, well, I mean, your story is different in the sense that you grew up in a black neighborhood. Did you ever get people saying like, why do you act black? Or why do you sound black?
I would get, why do you act black? You know, you're not black. I go, yeah, but you know, I'm not white either, right? So what the fuck am I supposed to sound like?
Right, exactly.
It's okay to sound white, but it's not okay to sound black. I mean, it didn't add up to me, especially as a kid. And then I would go extra black at that moment, you know. And then as you get older, you realize, oh, I don't have to do either of those things. I could really just be me. But I'm like a chameleon. My voice changes according to who I'm talking to.
Yeah, same, dude. It's such a weird thing to like live in this world where I don't think people understand how culture and sound.
It's a sign of genius. I don't know if you know that.
What's that?
Changing not your accent, but your way of speaking when you talk to other people. It's a sign of genius. It shows that you're trying to connect with everybody that you're talking to.
Well, I'll take that too. Well, that's high praise. Well, two geniuses and Asif on this podcast.
Yeah, well, because I like when I go to work, I do the whole corporate white guy thing.
No, you have to.
Kills me softly.
Nobody
inside.
wants to fucking be in the corporate world here. Yo, what's up, man? I want to talk to you for a motherfucking minute.
Right.
And like, oh, Asif, we've had a complaint. Mansour, is that how it is?
Oh shit!
I knew a guy named Mansoor, and he got mad because I called him man pig one day.
Why? Why did you
is how you say
because
pig.
Sur is pig, and he got mad.
Yeah, I know it's a pig. Yeah.
I was like, come on, I'm not fucking calling you. I'm just your name. He goes, that's not what it means. It means, I'm like, I don't fuck what it means.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know what it means. It's some other guy's name. It's like,
it's not your name.
My name's made up anyway. Like I don't like my dad has it. Like me and my dad are Mansoors, but like because of the war in '71, they all just gave us Pakistani names to like avoid suspicion. So I have a non-Bengali name. I'm just kind of like, I'm gonna name my kid something.
You also
weird,
have kind of a non-Bengali look.
Do I? I feel like I'm pretty.
Well, from what I can see, I mean, you don't have the. They usually have rounder heads with more slanted eyes.
I think the jujitsu, the top pressure, just kind of slim me out a little bit.
I'm trying to get my ears fucked up.
Oh,
and I keep telling Mark, and every time he tries to put me in a triangle, he goes, "This is how to get your ears fucked up." And he keeps trying to put me in triangles, but I keep defending. I'm like, nah, I'm not trying to protect my ears. I'm just trying not to get triangled. I'm like, no, not taking this head today, kid.
Yeah, I have a little bit. I don't get them because I wrestled in high school too, and I never got cauliflower ear.
I know, right? You would think, well, Nimesh would get cauliflower because he's Gujarati. They're all vegetarians, but he would.
Boo!
Hey, I didn't say this was going to be good. Hey, it's free, you cocksucker.
Oh man, look, I don't want to keep you, Russ. We could talk for hours. We've been talking for an hour. Anything you'd like to say or plug or whatever the fuck?
Nah, just let's see what happens when we all get out of this shit and see what happens. See what world we're living in because it's chaos right now.
Yeah, man. All right, well, thank you, man. I appreciate the time. Appreciate the compliments.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Always fun to connect.
Asif will roll when I come to New York, or if you come to LA, you come roll with me there.
Man, I would love to do that, man. I would love to meet John Jacques.
Bring a gi because I don't have an A1.
Yeah, I'm an A2F. So
I'm an A3. I'm an A3.
All right, brother. Thank you, man.
Nimesh, Aljo, congrats, buddy.
Thank you, man. I'll talk to you soon, brother.
See you guys.
Stay safe.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. This is Gucci Turban. I'm Nimesh. That's Asif. Next week, we'll be talking to either a clinical psychologist who is also South Asian, or someone that was trapped in an Iranian prison for 180 days.
And little shout, I need with Gucci Turban, the podcast needs a little help. And I'm looking for a fake Gucci turban. So it's called the Indie Full Turban. So if you can find me a fake one from China, please get at us at Finding Nimesh or at Everybody Loves Manti. I will buy this turban from you.
Or email
and I will
us
wear
at
it on
Gucci,
this podcast.
Or email us at GucciTurbanPodcast@gmail.com. All right.